Most men get this completely wrong. They think if she's attracted, she'll make it obvious. They think interest looks like attention, smiles, easy conversations. But the truth? The strongest attraction is often the most invisible. And if you don't understand this, you'll miss it every single time. Here's what you don't understand. Attraction, especially from women, is rarely loud. It's controlled, filtered, sometimes even hidden on purpose. And that's exactly why most men fail. They're only looking for obvious signals, while ignoring the subtle ones that actually matter. You've probably been around a woman who liked you and never realized it. Let's fix that, because once you see these signs, you won't unsee them. And more importantly, you'll stop chasing and start attracting. This is where most men fail. They overvalue attention. If she texts fast, laughs loudly, or compliments you, they assume she's interested. But attraction isn't always about giving more. Sometimes it's about holding back. A woman who's genuinely intrigued by you often becomes more controlled, not more expressive. Why? Because attraction creates tension. And tension makes people careful. That's your first signal. When she's slightly reserved, around you more than with others. That's not disinterest. That's awareness. She's thinking about how she comes across to you. And that's exactly why her behavior changes. A woman who doesn't care doesn't adjust. But a woman who's attracted, she becomes self-conscious in subtle ways. She fixes her posture, watches her words, controls her reactions. Not because she's fake, because she values your perception. Here's where it gets deeper. She won't always give you attention. In fact, sometimes she'll pull back. This confuses most men. They think, if she liked me, she'd come closer. Wrong. Attraction isn't always about moving toward you. Sometimes it's about creating space to see if you'll chase. This is where your behavior matters more than hers. A weak man reacts emotionally. He notices distance and immediately tries to close it. More texts, more effort, more chasing. And that's exactly why he loses. Because neediness kills mystery. And mystery is what fuels attraction. A high-value man does the opposite. He notices the pullback and stays grounded. He doesn't panic. He doesn't chase. He lets her come back. And she almost always does. Because now the dynamic has shifted. Now she's the one thinking about you. Here's what you don't understand about attraction. It's not about how much she shows. It's about how much she feels when she's not showing anything. Another sign most men completely miss. She tests you, not in obvious ways. Not by asking questions directly, but through behavior. She might challenge you, disagree with you, even ignore you at times, and you think she's losing interest. But in reality, she's measuring your emotional stability. This is where most men fail again. They take it personally. They react. They try to prove themselves. And that's exactly why they lose attraction. Because attraction isn't built on proving. It's built on presence. Calm, unshaken, unreactive. When she sees that you don't get thrown off, that you don't seek validation, that you're not trying to impress her, that's when respect turns into attraction. And attraction, when mixed with uncertainty, becomes obsession. Let's go even deeper. She pays attention to you, even when she pretends not to. You'll catch it in moments. Quick glances. Listening when you're talking to someone else. Remembering small details you didn't think mattered. That's not coincidence. That's investment. But here's the trap. If you call it out too early, you break it. Because now you're forcing what should stay natural. A high-value man observes. He doesn't rush to label. He lets the tension build. Because tension is where attraction lives. And this is where most men destroy everything. They try to secure certainty too fast. They want to know, does she like me or not? So they push. They confess. They overexpress. And that's exactly why the attraction fades. Because certainty kills excitement. Mystery creates it. And a man who understands this moves differently. He doesn't chase clarity. He creates curiosity. Now here's the part nobody tells you. A woman who's secretly attracted to you will often mirror your energy, but subtly. If you're calm, she becomes calm. If you're playful, she opens up. If you're distant, she feels it and adjusts. That's influence. And influence is more powerful than effort, because effort can be faked. But emotional alignment? That only happens when attraction is real. So if you want to know if she's into you, stop looking at what she says. Watch how she shifts around you. That's the real signal. And here's the final truth most men aren't ready to hear. Attraction isn't about what you get from her. It's about who you are without needing anything from her. The moment you stop trying to win her over, you become the man she starts trying to understand. And that's the shift. From chasing to being chased. From seeking attention to creating presence. From needing validation to being the standard. Because a high-value man doesn't ask, "Does she like me?" He knows his value doesn't depend on her answer. And ironically, that's exactly what makes her want him more. So remember this. The signs are there. They've always been there. You just weren't looking the right way. Start observing. Stay grounded. Control your reactions. And let her come to you. Because the man who doesn't chase is the man they can't stop thinking about.